Oops, she did it again. Britney Spears is getting divorced after just 14 months of marriage. If you want to hear two guys that have taken shits longer than that and will never break up, go to www.NTTFGPOD.com and subscribe. I'm Rock.
And I'm Archie.
Well, our opinions, they might not matter to some, but...
What are you doing in there?
It's a podcast.
Immature, crass, trashy. And those are their good qualities. These poor schmucks are a couple of IQ points away from eating paste. But when it comes to music, sports, and comedy, well, that's all they know. You're listening to
Not These Two Fucking Guys.
Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
Hey, Rock.
Yo.
You see my shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you can't really see my shirt.
Gatorade. Gobble. Oh, that's fucking fantastic. Gabagool.
My mother-in-law sent this to me. Amazon. I open up a package and I go, I didn't order a t-shirt. Like, I know what I order. I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't order this. And I open it up and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then for a second I was like, Gator Gobble. Where is it? My mother-in-law gets a kick out of me when I fucking say stupid slang Italian words.
Well, she
Probably that aren't
she
even
must get a kick out of you every fucking time you speak.
like this one time she was over like a couple of weeks ago and I was wearing, don't you, I don't know, do you have any of those shorts that are a little too maybe snug around the waist area, and then if you bend over, maybe right, a little something like your ass crack comes out?
Yeah.
Plumber crack, right?
Okay.
Plumber's crack.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I bend over and I could feel it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, like, I don't care. Like, she laughs, whatever. I'm like, oh, I got a little spockadine showing. She rolled. She died when she heard that.
I thought you were gonna say she gave you a credit card. Just don't insert the chip.
Anyway, so she gets a kick out of that. So she sent me this shirt and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Gabagool.
And I'm
Gaba.
wearing it in true sodium fashion. Yo, Rock.
Yo.
So Mama Dukes is getting to be, it's fourth quarter. She's 82. She wants some help, as she should, right? At 82, we want to give her as much help as possible. But my brother went with her to release a car.
Oh boy.
And she pretty much I'll get into it, but she pretty much at one point told my brother, like, hold my beer. I got this.
I got this.
Hold my apple juice. I got this. So they go down to Nissan, right? And she's been getting a car from Nissan.
On the Avenue?
She goes down to Lynn's Nissan in Bloomfield on the Avenue. So she goes down there. She's been going down there for 20 years.
Okay.
Sentras, Altimas. What's the other one?
Venza.
No, she never went there.
Wow.
No, what's that other one? A Versa.
Versa, that's what I meant.
That thing was like a fuck, bro. I if I wanted to, I honestly think I could pick it up. Not off.
Like an Italian rapper, they spit a Versa.
Spit a Versa.
All right.
I think I could possibly pick it up and move it to the side, like a little bit.
Yeah.
So she goes there. She goes to get a new car. All right. I mean, nowadays she has to put some shit down, right? You're in the car biz. You understand. Like, are you leaving a lease without putting money down nowadays?
No.
Okay.
No.
So the last like 4, 8, 12 years, she didn't put a dime down. Her payment went up a little bit every year, but just didn't put a dime down.
Sure. This
year, she had to put some money down. But the whole thing is that she went in with my brother. My brother, it's like fucking Batman and Robin. They're about to go fucking, they're about to pull a heist. And, she's 82, man. 82. There's a time and a place for everything. And that's out the window at 82. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're
Yeah.
82, who gives a fuck? They don't fucking care. They say whatever they want to say. They do whatever they want to do. So I think, the game.
Yeah.
Oh, ma'am, I have to go back to my manager and see if he's okay with those numbers, and we got to work it. See, maybe we could put it in, right? You know the game. My mom,
Yeah.
my mom was like, She goes, I'm not going to this back and forth business. You go back to your manager and tell him this is what I want, and this is what
All in the shots.
and he was, from what my brother was telling me, he's a very nice man. And he was calling, my mom's name's Mary, right? Oh, yes, Miss Mary. Yes, Miss Mary. Thank you so much. No problem. And my brother was telling me that he sounded like a good guy, right? He sounded just like a good guy, like making money for his family, trying to fucking pay the rent, and like because my brother would have told me, oh yeah, he was a jerk off, or he was like, he looked like a shyster.
Little
Salesman.
did he know that Mary was going to be, when he woke up that morning, got dressed for work.
Yeah,
Little did he
Mary.
know Mary's going to be sitting at his desk.
So Mary came in and was just like, none of this back and forth business. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this right. So are you ready for this? So she pretty much has, I think she's got to put money down. She gave this guy the business back and forth, and she's getting a sport model.
Wow.
She's getting a Nissan Sentra Sport, which, to be honest, looks pretty fucking dope. Like, I saw it.
Yeah.
Low
Smart.
profile tires. Like it looked. I'll take that. I'll take that fucking thing. So she goes, oh, I gotta put money down. It's going up. It's this and that. All right. It comes down to color. And she goes, all right, what do we have? Well, Miss Mary, we have white, and white.
What would you like?
She's like, no, I've never had a white car. I don't want white. I don't like white. Miss Mary, I'm so sorry. My mother's got a white Nissan Sentra Sport. And it looks fucking, I would tint the windows. It looks like a fucking, it looks like, it reminded me a little bit. Remember the, what Lexus, the IS?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you're saying.
It's a fucking dope little car.
So she's going to tint the windows and cruise the avenue?
Yeah, she's going on the Ave.
So she gave this guy the business. I went one time with my mom.
Gave him the business.
I was much younger. Quite the opposite. I need my mom to co-sign for me. I was younger. I was at the dealer. So walking in, I'm like, Mom, do me a favor. There may be a point here where I'm gonna get up and walk away. Okay, it's just part of how we're gonna negotiate here. Okay, I'm gonna tell them we're not taking it and we're fucking leaving. Okay, yeah, no problem. Mom, don't say anything. They try to talk to you. They're gonna try to talk to you to get to me. Don't say a fucking word. All right. So anyway, back and forth, this and that. It was like a little bit about price, about something else, and it was overpriced for what I can get. I could have got a Lexus cheap, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I got to make a couple calls. I don't. This is not a good deal, and I'm gonna probably have to think about it. So I get up and walk away. I hear my mom in the background. Oh, honey, he loves this car. He's gonna wind up taking it. Just so you know. What the fuck did you just do? So anyway, calling my bluff. He told the guy my fucking. I'm like, Mom, don't say anything. Perfect.
Just don't say a word.
And it wasn't like the guy even asked her a question. She just offered his information out, and I'm like, hey, do me a favor. Next time I'm in a negotiation, I'm gonna not bring you, but I was stuck because I had to.
Yeah.
I was young. I needed a co-signer, so that was the first and last time that I brought Mom Dukes to the dealership with me.
Oh, bro. I think there was. It's funny
I'm
that
gonna
you
bring, I'm gonna
said
bring
that.
Mary next time.
Please. And I'll film it all.
But definitely,
Um,
she's right though. The whole back and forth thing. If the salesman has to go back to the desk every single time, if they have to go back more than twice.
Yeah.
I just said, do me a favor. Can I just talk to the manager directly? What do I need? What I don't need a jerk
So
off
what?
going in between.
What are you here for? If the other guy's gonna,
So
you know,
you gotta watch this, and maybe you can embed it in this episode. It was probably like 5 to 10 years old now. Impractical Jokers. They were at a car dealership,
uh,
and one of the guys, I forget which one it was, but they put in the earpiece. Every time the customer asks you any question, so you have to go talk to the manager about it. It was like, hey, what color does this car come in? He's like, I'm just talking to my manager real quick. Every single thing he did, it was fucking hilarious.
it's fucking true, right?
Yeah.
Somewhat. I mean, do you see? So basically, if you got to go back and like, because you're in the car business, if you have to go back and see your manager, does your manager get annoyed, or does he want you to come back?
Yes.
He
Well,
wants you. He wants you to handle it. No.
at that point, the manager is probably going to say, is going to fear the salesperson may mess up the deal. They're going to just go out there themselves and speak to the
They'll close it themselves.
yeah. And now the salesperson mentality usually is they don't want the manager out there. Some don't want it. They think the manager is going to mess the deal up. Meanwhile, is there even really a deal in place to begin with? So
Try to answer this question to the best of your ability.
oh boy,
Say there's a lease that's $399 a month, 5,000 down.
yeah.
On an average, and it probably depends if you're at Kia or if you're at Toyota or if you're at fucking Lexus. I don't know. Where's the room as a customer? What do you think an average I can get that down to?
No,
So if I could take away this car for $5,000 and $399 a month, what do you think I can get? Come on, we're all gonna make money, but you could get it down a little bit.
well, it depends on how long the term is, like how many months. You know what I mean? It depends on the residual value of there's so many factors. There's not just one factor. It's the term of the vehicle, the residual value of the vehicle, any rebates from the factory, like that kind of stuff. So it's hard to say. There's not like one, there's not like one set price, and it also too it depends on the MSRP of the car and how in the market how when there's during COVID when there's less cars, the people were paying over MSRP for a car because there was no cars to be had. And that's just the way it is.
I'm just wondering, how much is there always wiggle room?
Again, it depends.
Yeah.
Some models, yes, some manufacturers, yes, but it depends. It depends on what the dealership is set up to do and how much, are they going to take a short deal because you're from the area and you're going to come back and service the car with them, that kind of thing.
Yeah. They're in the area. We'll get them on service.
Yeah, they bought 5 cars from you. Okay, we need to move some metal for the end of the month.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks for fucking nothing.
Arch.
Yo.
Special ep tonight.
Yes, talk to me.
This is our
ep again.
special.
I'll fucking say ep again, and I'll slice your fucking beard off. Go.
Special ep tonight. We are dedicating this episode to UFC 292. Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley. And we have a special guest. I've known him his whole life. My bro, Nick the Brick Borriello. What's up, Nick?
What's up, guys? What's going on?
What's going on, homie?
So, Arch, Nick is the equivalent of Rain Man when it comes to handicap and MMA fights.
Charlie Babbitt. Yeah. Yeah, he's what the kids say, hot with his picks. Nick the Brick.
Yeah, man. That's what you're saying. You're in the private group chat with all the I give out all my free picks. So
yeah,
definitely on the roll. Last 11 fights, 11 for 11. So keeping it rolling this weekend.
I see some screenshots, and then it's like, yo, banger, winner. I mean,
Well, he hasn't advertised the losers. That's why.
Well, yeah, I mean, who
Yo,
wants to
got
see
my dick
those?
kicked in this weekend. Down 30 grand.
We don't talk about them. That never happens.
I walked alone in the street for 3 hours last night, just contemplating, but we're good. So you're doing good. You're doing good, and we didn't want anyone else on this show to predict the 292 predictions for UFC. So let's get into it, man. Let's see where we are.
So
Absolutely.
Nick, we're gonna go through the card. Let me just pull it up on my screen here. Folks that don't know, Nick is also a martial artist. So he tends to know the game a little better than the average layperson. And like I said before, he is like a little Rain Man when it comes to it. He remembers facts, he remembers exact fights, he remembers finish. Like, I think my memory's pretty good. He remembers like intimate details of it.
All right.
Yeah, MMA is my life, man. Obviously, training, I've fought before. There's nothing I look forward to more than Saturday night fights. That's like the highlight of my life. So every weekend studying, I can't wait till they put the lines out. I do my studying all week, and then I come out with my picks.
All right, just be clear.
I'm doing pretty good year after year. I mean, honestly, if you probably look at all my picks, I would say on year's end, 60 to 70% winners every year, which is really, really good if you know sports betting. So, I mean, when I'm hot, I'm hot. So I tell all my friends, all my boys, hammer these picks I have, because you got to ride the wave, man. Like, I got a lot riding on Saturday, man. It could be a really, really good night with low risk, very, very high reward. So,
all right. I can't wait.
Should be a good one. A lot of people are dependent on me, so a lot of people don't,
don't let them down.
People that know me, I give them for free. That they're very grateful. So,
Brick's picks, bro.
Brick's picks right here.
Brick's picks. Let's do it.
And Arch, when he says he can't wait till the lines come out, he means the betting lines. Okay, so don't get excited.
Oh, everybody needs some bread.
So
wait, real quick. How like close, like how far out from Saturday night are you confident? Or do you wait till maybe like Thursday, Friday night, you're like, yeah, I got it nailed?
There are certain things that play a factor. I like fights. Some fights I like early, but I also like to see how it plays out. There's little things. It's not everything that go into it, like such as like just checking their Instagram. Are they posting often? Who are they training with? What kind of injuries are they coming off of? Where are they fighting? Like, for instance, this week Boston. So just note that the main event's not going to be taken off until at least midnight, if not after midnight. So, sometimes these West Coast guys are not used to fighting that late, and their clocks all fucked up.
Yeah.
So, like a guy like Aljo, who's an East Coast guy, for instance, he's been fighting those times his whole career, and on the East Coast here at Ring of Combat and Cage Fury. So again, that's just one little variable that goes into it. But I'll also look ahead. I like MMA Junkie. They post schedule for fights months in advance. So I look ahead. I'm like, oh my God, like that's going to be a good month. That's going to be a really good card. Let's see how it plays out.
Awesome.
Obviously, there's injuries that come into play, and shit happens. Yeah. But I'll also look ahead and do like my picks for the future, basically, and I'll look at certain cards there's just certain cards that are just so much good value, and you just know who's going to win, and I just love fights like that. And then I'll do parlays where maybe I'll pick my best fight, sprinkle it, my best couple fights from one card to the next card to the next card. So that's like I like when they put the betting lines out far in advance, like a FanDuel will do that, or like a DraftKings. So you get your most value, and you want to make sure you lock that win up to have your best possible chance. So and sometimes my opinion changes too. If I like the fighter in advance, months in advance, that might change by the time the fight time comes. But that's basically my mindset.
So let's talk about the feature fight on the prelims. And I was reading an article. Chris Weidman was a little upset. He felt disrespected that he used to be a former champion. Major leg break injury happened in the octagon. Now he's relegated to the prelims, and he felt kind of disrespected in that aspect. And me and you talked about this fight a little bit today. So it's Chris Weidman versus Brad Tavares. And you're asking me my opinion on it, and you seem to be strongly with Weidman. Just tell us your reasoning on it.
Yeah. Well, first off, they have Weidman as, I think he dropped a little bit, but I got him at plus 220. So for those that don't know, it's every $100 you bet. If Weidman wins, you'll win 220. He's a 2-to-1 underdog, a little over 2-to-1 underdog. I just think the oddsmakers got that one wrong. I think people forgot how good Weidman is. I mean, he's obviously coming off that devastating leg break injury. But he's an athlete. You recover quicker when you're an athlete like Weidman. He's a former champion. I just don't see at any point in his career where you would put Brad Tavares over him. You can make the argument, oh, now would be the time, right? But I just don't see it. And I like the fact that he did that grappling match against that big jacked up grappler who's he's got, forget his name. But he did good against it. He looked good. His leg was holding up good. Weidman lost the decision, but the guy he was grappling was really good. And Weidman got taken down in it, but in the fight against Tavares, he's not gonna have to worry about getting taken down against Tavares. He's got so many more ways to win this fight. I mean, Weidman you got to just bet him outright in that fight instead of doing any kind of prop bets. He could knock him out on the feet, he could TKO him on the ground, or he could submit him, or he could win a decision. I think the odds makers got this one wrong. I think Weidman wins this fight all day. I think this is the underdog of the night, and I'm Weidman all the way with that. I just some fights that stand out to you that you just know, and I feel like this is one of those.
Yeah, so I think when we initially talked, right, I'm always leery of betting or picking someone to win that hasn't, fought in 2 years. Obviously, ring rust is a real thing, and coming off, I mean, like Arch, you gotta Google it. You probably don't know. Horrific injury, like snap, like leg was snapped.
Compound, like that type of thing.
Yeah, compound fracture, clean break, whatever it was. Right. So and I love Chris Weidman, and I actually want him to win the fight. And I like to see him resurrect his career. He's a good dude. The only thing that concerns me is, okay, grappling match, that's good. It's better than nothing. It's a step in the right direction. But having to, that leg getting tested by kicks, right? And can he plant and for takedowns? Hopefully he can, but that would that would lead me to want to stay away from this fight because of the huge uncertainty. But I take your point of, plus 220 underdog, that is a value bet.
He's still Chris Weidman, man. That's what I gotta say. He's still Chris Weidman. I don't know if you watched the the Embedded series. I see him on Instagram too. He posted a video of him hitting pads. He looks fast. He looks big. He looks good, man. Like if he had any doubts in that aspect of it, and again, he went in live competition with that grappling match. I just see him winning this fight. And if you also look at the matchup that he's coming back to, this is a very favorable matchup for his first fight back coming off that bad injury. Brad Tavares, he's good, but he wins all his fights by decision. He's got like 18 or 19 wins. He only has 5 of them by knockout. And 12 by decision. So it's not like Weidman's coming in there against like a striker like Alex Pereira, who's got to worry about getting his head taken off. That being said, though, I will say, for only having 5 knockouts on his record, Tavares, he does have pop in his punches. Like, he doesn't have pillow fists.
And he's durable.
Yeah, he's very durable, but regardless, he doesn't put people away. And I just think that it's, again, I'm either going to look brilliant on this fight or like an absolute idiot. So,
all right. Honestly,
I told you I listened to Won't Back Down Radio, Chris Weidman's MMA program, and I tell you what, his self belief is pretty like second to none. So it's maybe he knows something that we don't. Moving on to the main card.
He does. I really do feel like I feel like he's rejuvenated, Rock. I really do.
I hope so. Going on to the main card, looks like the first. We're not going to do all the fights here, but on the first fight in the main card, Marlon Chito Vera against Pedro Munoz. Seems like a going to be probably candidate for one of the fights of the night. Like, seems like it will be a really good fight. What do you think?
Yeah, agreed. This is one of the ones like I kind of went back and forth on. Like you would think Cheeto would be a no-brainer in that one, but Pedro's tough, you know, and obviously styles make fights. I mean, betting wise, I didn't really bet Cheeto for this one. I kind of stayed away from this one. But gun to my head, I think Cheeto Vera wins. I just think that level of recent competition. I mean, Cheeto's a beast. He just starts slow. So the only being a 3-rounder has me wondering, you know, you have questions about that. You know, he's got to start earlier. He's got to break out of his more relaxed style because you in a 3-round fight, you really don't have time to waste to give up a round in only a 3-round fight. So, you know, and Pedro's good. What did he just beat? He just beat the Gutierrez.
Yeah, Chris Gutierrez.
That's a good win for him. You know, he's tough, Pedro. That's why. It's sometimes I get these good feelings about fights. It's like, oh, stay away. Like this, like when Leon knocked out Usman for the title. So I just had that gut feeling. You would think Usman easy win for him again. I'm like, I don't know, man. I just sometimes, you know, you put the math together and it doesn't add up, and it's just like, you know what? I don't know. I'm staying away.
That's what equates to
there's certain fights you want to gamble on. You know, you want to take a shot, take a gamble, but there's certain fights where I look at more as locks, sure things. So you want to lock up those, you know, those bets and get that money. Locks. I'm sorry, Arch. Go ahead, brother.
No, that's fine. It's just I was just gonna say that that contributes to the 60-70% possibly, you know, winning your fights. That it's a gut feeling. Like there's something when you gut, you're feeling it. You're like it comes through. But I'm sure sometimes it doesn't. But but usually a gut feeling you can just tell, right?
Sometimes you got to trust your gut.
I'm with you too, Nick. I think Chito Vera over his last 5 fights has significantly raised his game. Now, looking at Pedro Munoz, his last 5 losses come to Dominic Cruz, Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar, Aljamain Sterling, John Dotson. His strength of schedule. He never has a almost like a halfway easy fight. The eye poke fight with Sean O'Malley, Jim Rivera, who's tough as hell, Cody Garbrandt, Brian Caraway. He's Rob Font. He's fought guys that are, you know, at the top of the game.
Frankie Edgar too, right?
Yep. But I think I'm with you on that. I think that Chito Vera is he's definitely on the rise. So the next fight that I looked at that I thought, and again, I know he's the future, maybe the now. Ian Gary against Neil Magny. Neil Magny, who is just, you know, he's a dog. He fucking, you know, he when you think he's out of a fight, he's still in it. He can hold his own. Pretty steep plus 380 underdog. And I know that Ian Gary will win the fight, but I feel like he's a sizable underdog for such a vet and such a dog.
Yeah, you know, he's Ian Gary's undefeated, 12-0. He's a lot younger than him. That plays a factor. Magny's taking a fight on a week's notice or however 2 weeks notice, whatever it was, because Jeff Neal got injured. Magny, and if you look at Magny's losses, they all come to good grapplers. He's only been knocked out once in the UFC.
Yep.
So he really doesn't get knocked out. And when he loses to grapple people who take him down and submit him on the ground. He's got like 4 submission losses, I think, something like that. So he really doesn't lose to strikers too often, but I think that's going to change on Saturday. I think Ian Gary, it's either he'll get a TKO on him or a decision. I'm probably leaning towards the decision because Magny is tough. He is durable, but I don't think Ian has that submission threat to to sub Magny, because Magny is good at subs, but he only gets subbed by the elite guys like the Rachmanovs and the Gilbert Burns.
Yep.
Yeah, so I feel like a guy like Ian Gary, he's not gonna be able to submit Magny. I'd see more of a decision or a TKO on that one.
Ian
You
Gary's
like-
getting a lot of hype, behind him, and I think putting a name on his resume like that is going to do even more.
Yeah, they'll stay active.
So the co-main event for the women's strawweight title, Willie.
Wait, hold on.
and-
One second. I apologize. So
Yeah.
are you did you say, are you taking this one or you're not taking this? Or
Yeah, Ian Gary, I have him outright in my picks.
you like him? You like him?
Yeah, he's in one of my big parlays. Yes.
Okay. All right. Just curious about the bricks
Yeah.
on this one.
No, yeah,
we're gonna recap the bricks picks.
All right.
yeah, I like him a lot, and there's a lot of good value in the prelim, so we got to get to those too.
All right.
All right. Willie Zhang and Amanda Lemos for the women's strawweight title bout.
Well, obviously, Wally, she's a beast. Yeah, she coming off that, beating Joanna and subbing out Carla Esparza. The thing with this fight is, obviously styles make matchups, and the Lemos, I think that she's a better striker than Wally. I think she's faster and more powerful, and she has a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Wally's got better wrestling than her, but she also has obviously very good striking, and she's got some subs on the ground as well. I'm taking the underdog in this one. I'm going with Lemos in this one at plus 250. I think
Wow.
I think this is going to be a bad matchup for Wale. Obviously, this fight's more of a gamble. If you want to risk your money on it, this is more of a gamble than my other picks, but I see her getting it done. I see her clipping her. I think the speed advantage. I think Wally's got to she's got to go for takedowns in this fight, and she will. She'll mix it up, and if Amanda Lemos could defend these takedowns, I think she could clip her on the feet. I really do. She's got power. She's got pop. But if Wally's able to grind her out and take her down round after round and mix it up, then Wally's going to take that fight later in the fight, I think.
Yeah,
Nice.
After the two Wally and Nama Yunus fights, it looked like it was a chance that I remember the crowd playing a big part in it, and Wally looked like she may have like broke mentally, but the two fights after against Joanna and Carla Esparza, she looked fantastic. So we'll see, but that's
Yeah, and again, her fight against Joanna's past her prime. She had retirement on her mind. She knew that she was going to retire if she lost. Carla Esparza has no striking to set up her takedowns. And on the ground, I feel like she quit. I feel like she didn't want that fight against Wally. I think she knew going into it that was going to be a very, very tough fight for her. And, I mean, people are forgetting, Wally's lost twice to Rose Namajunas. Let me ask you a question. Who do you think wins, Amanda or Rose in a fight?
Rose.
You think Rose wins? I think Amanda wins. I think she's the most devastating striker at 115, Amanda Lemos. I think that people are holding things against her they shouldn't. Like that fluke freak submission loss to Jessica Andrade, where she got hit with the standing arm triangle.
Yeah.
Like the timing and the odds of that happening, and there had to be the right amount of dryness. And Jessica Andrade, obviously she's strong as hell in that position. That was a fluke submission. That's like such a rare. That's not going to happen again. You know what I mean? You can't hold that against Amanda Lemos, and I think people do, and I think that's just foolish to do so.
Yeah, see, I think it depends on which Rose would show up in that fight. You know what I mean? I agree. I think Lemos has better striking than her, but I feel like again, the heart and the experience like that being like in a war or two, that's why I would give Rose the edge. But I mean, it would be razor close fight in my opinion.
I just think that Amanda's got more pop, in her punches, and that's what it will come down to.
Arch, who do you think has better striking, Hulk Hogan or Andre the Giant?
When he went back and you saw a little bit of the fucking, like, you would see a little bit of this.
Hulk Hogan and Andre.
Hogan.
Rock, what do you think the line was on that one for WrestleMania 3?
Believe it or not, Andre's build is undefeated. So I'm gonna say Hogan was a minus 200 underdog on that particular night.
Side note, does
Plus
anybody
200?
I mean, plus 200 underdog. Excuse me.
Hogan was on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and it was fucking hysterical from start to finish. All right, good.
So I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Rush.
he's funny. He's a piss of that guy.
I think you sent me the clip. Ric Flair was on it too, I think the week before.
Yes,
So
he was.
I saw a little bit of that. All right, let's get into the main event for the bantamweight title. Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley. I don't know. I think a lot of people sleep on Aljo, and I don't know why. I mean, I guess I do know why. A couple of those fights, the Peter Yan fights and weird shit happening in it, but I don't know, man. I like Sean O'Malley. I don't see him getting it done in this fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if this fight wasn't very competitive.
Agreed. That's absolutely one of the ways it can go. You can't count O'Malley out because he does have pop. He cracks. He hits hard for 35. He's long and rangy. But Aljo is just a beast. I mean, if you got to pick a style to beat O'Malley, it's Aljo Sterling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's Aljo all day in that one. I'll be honest though, that fight, it's another one of those gut feelings where it's like, I really don't want to invest too much in that fight. But again, gun to my head, I think Aljo could stop him easily, or I think he could just take him down for 5 rounds and just beat him up.
Now, that site, Clutch Points?
Yes.
All right. So they have Sean O'Malley will knock out Sterling. They have him.
Listen, and this is the reason why I kept that fight out of all my big parlays, because of that reason. Because he does possess that one punch knockout for 35. He could clip Aljo coming in with a knee or a punch or something. That could happen. I just don't see it happening.
Sterling,
and again, gun to my head, it's Aljo all day.
Sterling has to go to grappling to take care of what's his face? O'Malley.
Yeah. And if you look in their fight, Peter Yan was taking down Sean O'Malley in their fight. So what the hell do you think Aljo's going to do to him? Iraq, I think you're absolutely right. I think this could be a one-sided ass whooping too. It very well could be for Aljo.
Right. I was surprised. I know the UFC has been trying, they obviously with the matchmaking and building up future stars, and Sean O'Malley is certainly a star and certainly is marketable. I thought that they would wait until Aljo was out of the division, because supposedly this is his last fight in the division. He's moving up. I thought that they would probably put a pause on him and let him fight, for the belt, whoever emerges from that. But yeah, I think it's a super tough matchup for O'Malley.
Yeah, he's got the drawing power. That's what they want to do. The UFC, you might not necessarily be the number one contender, but if you sell tickets and people want to see you, they're gonna put you in those showcase fights.
Absolutely.
I was just watching the press conference. They whole crowd was all pro O'Malley and booing the shit out of Aljo. And this is an East Coast fight. It's Boston. I guess got more of the Irish crowd behind you. Irish heritage out there.
Guaranteed.
No doubt. Shy.
And that's another thing too with the East Coast fight. Has O'Malley ever fought at 12:30 in the morning, East Coast time? Has Brad Tavares? Well, his fight will be a little earlier.
Yeah.
Because it's on the prelims. His fight will be at 9:30, so it's a little more, reasonable. But O'Malley will be fighting at midnight or later. And I don't think
Vegas, right?
Yeah, all his fights were out there. I don't think he's had any East Coast fights, especially in main event. Definitely not a main event. So it's going to be, you'll be fighting in Vegas main event time around 10 p.m. And out here you're fighting at, past midnight. So
yep,
difference. Or even earlier in Vegas, actually, at 9 p.m., 9:30.
So let's circle back. You said you have some good value picks and some stuff on the prelim. So fire away.
Yeah. Art, you got your pen? Write these down.
I'm fucking ready.
Write that the fuck down.
I got my
I
little
mean-
pen and pad. Let's go.
My first pick on the prelims, 7 p.m. We got Natalia Silva over Andrea Lee. That girl's an absolute beast. So she's gonna win that fight.
Over Andrea Lee. All right.
Right. The next fight right after that, we got Andre Petrosky over Joe Mershon. Petrosky trains with Joe Pfeiffer. Joe Pfeiffer knocked out Mearshant on the feet, and he also just beat him in a grappling match by decision. Petrosky, much better grappler than Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer's got better striking, obviously, but Petrosky got good striking too. So I think he's going to mix it up, get him to the ground, and I think that'll be an easy win for Petrosky.
Arch, you're talking about Roddy Pfeiffer.
That's what I was going with. Because I want to see him start like a podcast called Pfeiffer's Pit. Good.
All right. Petrosky, what else?
Pfeiffer. We got Weidman, Ian Gary. If those 4 fights win, I'll be in AC on Saturday for the fights. There's a good call. There's a good chance I'll be on the news for running naked through the Borgata Casino. I got with all my parlays, very low risk, with high reward, I'll win over like 80,000.
And Arch, if they don't all hit, he'll be in the lobby giving hand jobs at 4 in the morning for cash. Either one.
Still successful, man. Still successful week. Between last weekend's fights and this, that's just the part of the parlay process, though. You know what I mean? Sometimes one fight will burn you.
Silva, Petrovsky, Weidman, and who was the other one?
Ian Gary.
Rick's picks. And Arch, too, kicking off the early prelims, a friend of the show, Marina Moroz.
This is the week.
Silva. But
this is the week. She's back.
Yeah.
All right.
She's a slight underdog.
Do you know anything about her, Nick?
Yeah, she lost me money my last fight. I bet on her against Jennifer Maia, and Maia beat her. So I'm not betting her this fight.
Well said.
You see her name and you're like, no.
Honestly, female fights are always a little unpredictable.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes you got to be careful.
I wonder why. Why do you think? Why do you think like a female is unpredictable?
Wow. I'm not going to touch that one, Arch.
No, it's just why would you think they're unpredictable? I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
Not all right. We'll cut that one. Go.
Arch, here we go.
Yes.
UFC 292, Bricks picks.
Let's go.
Hit it, Nick.
All right. So, I mean, if you want to go with my 4 top picks of the night, you can bet them singly, parlay them all together, do a 3-leg parlay, 2-leg parlay, whatever you choose. These are my 4 favorite fights for Saturday's UFC 292 card. We got Natalia Silva. We got Andre Petrosky. We got Chris Weidman as a big dog to add profit to your parlay. And then we got Ian Gary on the main card. Those are my top 4 picks. If you want to bet other picks with a little more of a gamble to them, in my opinion, we're going to go with Mario Batista. We're going to go with Amanda Lemos. And we're going to go with Aljo Sterling. Up to you guys. But
heard it here first.
Those first 4 picks, I absolutely love.
Folks, I mean, you hear our podcast for free. We give you picks that are going to possibly fatten your pockets for free. What else can we do?
Nick, thank you so much. Where can people find you out there if they want to seek you out for some picks?
I really don't want to be bothered too much, so they could probably hit you guys up, and I'll let you guys know who I like. But
right.
nah. I got my Instagram is _brick182.
Nice. Nice.
Give him a follow. Give us a like. Nick the Brick, thank you. Enjoy the fights in AC this weekend, pal.
Yo,
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me.
after this show comes out, Nick is gonna be like, why do I have 73 less people? Like, I haven't lost followers in years. I have 73 less people on my Instagram. All right, brother. Be good, man.
All right, pal.
Thanks, Horse. Thanks, Ron.
Peace.
I'll talk to you. Peace.
That was Nick the Brick.
Brick's pick.
Brick's picks. I like it.
Listen, let me tell you something. He really handicaps these and fucking puts thought into it. And it's like there's
100% I feel that he fucking
yeah.
puts, like he's in there, man, with a fine tooth comb getting it done. So who knows? Maybe, what do you think? Maybe we'll all put a little scuttle on it this weekend.
I think this weekend we throw a little scuttle on the old pot, see if it cooks.
What could go wrong? If I'm doing it?
Shit.
Rain keeps falling on my head. Yeah, bro. People out there, give him a follow. Check it out. Rocco and I are gonna, we're gonna follow Nick's picks and Brick's picks, and this could be a regular. This could be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, everybody, UFC 292 this Saturday, Sterling versus O'Malley. Enjoy the fights. If you just heard us talking to Nick the Brick, doesn't matter, City Slicker or Hick, even if your head's thick, head over to YouTube and give us a click, because you just listen to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
We out.
Talk dirty to me. Oops, she did it again. Britney Spears just... Fuck it.
But whiskey is still whiskey.
Oops, she did it again. Britney Spears...
Oh, Britney Spears, huh?
When she drives. Oops, she did it again. Britney Spears getting divorced after just 14 months of marriage. Fuck you in the ass.
Oh, now you're talking my language.
Whoa. Keep it classy, all right? You want to hear guys that... What do I have right here? All right, ready?
I'm always
Oops.
ready. Are you ready?
I'll wait till you're done. Say over when you're done talking.
Over.
Gabagool.
Feels like some type of parm. Like you had some type of parm in there.